Alright, so I wanted to make a video about the pain arc. I will always say this. The pain arc, in my opinion, is better than the final arc, the war arc. I mean, despite the fact that, ironically, Boruto is it takes it takes concepts from the war arc, aka the Asuki clan, but I still feel like the pain arc was definitively better because one, Kaguya as a villain is a very weak villain because who she is did not make sense because she was introduced so late in the game. Because I mean, to say the sixth path, he was referenced time and time again. And even in OG Naruto, with his ability of the Rinnegan, and how he was the father of all Shinobi, really, Kaguya was just so last minute, and her feats didn't really accomplish much. The only feat that she managed to do was with Obito. Obito was really gonna die either way because he was already low on chakra. He was already an evil guy. He was not gonna get redeemed. I mean, he killed Neji. He killed all thousands of people in this war. It was just not gonna happen, and that's why. Cause I mean, Kaguya had no reason to be a villain. She's just evil for the sake of for having an army to be the other Suki clan members because he was trying to revolt against them. But the thing is that the Zetsu army would not have worked against the Momoshiki. It would not have worked because they are way stronger than Kaguya. Given the fact that adult Sasuke and Naruto were having some struggles against that guy. But putting that aside, Nagato was easily the better villain. Because one, Naruto actually had a reason because his hatred against the world, he actually wanted genuine peace. Because with Yakuyo dying against Hondo, he went on a spree and literally he tried to kill everyone in his path, including Hondo, until he freaked out and lost control. And now that would prompt him to really get the Akaki in order and like basically listening to Obito, trying to listen to what he says so he can just create the world how he wanted. He want like literally any method he can to make the world a better place. He actually had genuine good intentions, but just not the right methods. And that's why I think he's a very compelling villain because I can see his intentions. His intentions were good intentions, but like I said, it just wasn't done the right way. Because with him, Konoha and Yakuno, I mean, from what Jiraiya from what Jiraiya teaching, they really wanted to be do better things than Jiraiya. They really wanted to be those heroes. And speaking with Jiraiya, like it's so interesting to me that like Jiraiya, the way he went out, that was amazing to me. How you have Jiraiya facing against a student that he didn't even know who he was before he faced him. He just thought Pain was a regular person, but it revealed that it's Yakuyo, the Keith body, I guess. Nagato actually controlling Yakuyo, and Jiraiya like being who he is, like with the perfected stage mode, and not only that, like he knew he was gonna die. He still tried, right? But he knew there was a outcome he was just not gonna make it, especially with Tsunade and how Tsunade would he literally had to depart with Tsunade. He was saying, "Oh, peace, I'm out. I'm just gonna fight Pain and just see how that goes." Unfortunately, he just never recovered from that, and despite his untimely death, even at the very moment, he honestly believed that Naruto was the prophecy. He was the chosen one. He was the child of prophecy that would set the world straight. What did end up being true, right? But I still loved how even before all the the six path mode, even before all that, even before all the war art, he still believed that Naruto was gonna be incredibly powerful and he was going to be the one being the pain. Literally has a book. It's the final chapter, the tale of Udumaki Naruto. Like that was amazing to me, and with another character's death, Itachi. I find it interesting with Itachi. Itachi has had this guilt, his guilt from kill, because you can't really tell, but he did not want to kill those Uchiha clan members. Like to be alive and having that on your subconscious is really disturbing, to say the least. You're always gonna be the person that killed those members. You're gonna have that on your mind that killed your family. You cannot ever see them again, and it's kind of a relief that, I mean, Itachi finally being released from his burden with his death, because I mean that's all he's been waiting for. He's been waiting the whole time for him to die, for his sin to be forgiven, I suppose, because it was just not going to work out in his favor. Because I mean, with Itachi and with other clan members, with other Konoha members thinking he's a villain, which in actuality he's a hero, but he just can't have that information spread. Otherwise, there will be a revolt against Danzo, and with Danzo, kind of a tricky area, because Danzo is a very sneaky son of a gun, and you would just have a diplomatic situation where the Akashi have one person that is a hero, but Konoha doesn't want to attack them. You see what I mean? Like, Konoha have to, he had to sacrifice himself to play the role of a bad guy, even though he really wasn't, and that's what Isake thought he was. And it would have been interesting to see if Toby or Obito, I guess in this case, if he did not interfere and just let Sake be his whole thing, Sake could just kill Itachi and not know the real reason, right, why Itachi had to do that, and just go back to Konoha. And I think it would actually work that way better, because with Sake just going back to Konoha, he would not kill Sakura. He would not try to kill Sakura on numerous occasions. To remind you, he tried to kill Sakura under the bridge during the Baikage Summit. He tried to do it by the end of the show during, I believe, when they steal Kaguya, and right before the Naruto and Sake, the final fight. Yeah, she tried to kill her, excuse me. This, I feel like it would actually work better for their relationship, because now that he's relieved of his duty to avenge his clans, he could actually have a normal relationship, and actually have normal relationship. And I think that would actually be great for his character, instead of just realizing it at the last moment how he needs friends and love, and how Sakura just falls into his hand, even despite the numerous attempts on her life. Like, I think that would be better. Naruto. This is actually the big one, though. Naruto, I love the development of Naruto, because he went from a guy who was extremely hated by the village, like extremely, like was even denied the right to even exist, like to even breathe the same fucking air as them. He wasn't even allowed even that. But now we've seen this guy who started to utilize the Kyuubi chakra more, but not fully mastering it like he did in the fourth grade ninja world, but to some extent utilizing that along with the sage mode. And with that being said, just like Naruto finally gained the recognition after killing Pain, something that even Jiraiya-sama couldn't even do. And I would dare say, okay, he would definitely be Hokage level, because even Tsunade would have a tough time defeating Pain, I feel. Especially because, one, while Tsunade is strong, right, she's just not going to be 6 paths of Pain. I mean, all 6 paths of Pain by herself. She's just not ill-equipped to do it, because she just have brute strength, and especially against all 6 paths of Pain, it's just not going to happen, especially with the Chubaku Tensei, the fourth pull. Like, she could literally pull and repel. Like, that, it was just not going to work, because she had an extremely disadvantage, because she just used Jutsu from a distance, therefore negating her strength. And so Naruto was definitely a better fit, because obviously he had sage mode, so he could do the same thing to an extent with the with the frog kata, which he literally punched without actually making contact, which I thought it was actually cool. Now the next one that had to do with Naruto. Naruto teaching Konohamaru the Rasengan. I thought that was amazing to me because Naruto himself finally being a mentor. I think that would have been a great way to end things because Konohamaru, we don't really see much of him, really. I mean, his biggest feat was actually in the art, but I think that was, I don't know, correct me if it's a filler or not, but he did the Rasengan on one of the 6 Paths of Pain and actually did a decent amount of damage. Now, it doesn't make that much sense, but I mean, the Paths of Pain that aren't the main body, they're not as strong as the Diva Path. So I mean, I guess you could say Konohamaru is just that damn strong. I don't know how he got that damn strong so fast, but sure, I guess. But Konohamaru, I think that was an awesome feat he did because besides that, like I said, that's literally his only feat in Naruto, I believe. I don't remember doing anything else. And besides that, his only other feat was in Boruto, but that's a completely different subject. Despite the fact that Naruto, like, his mentor path, and what Shikamaru says, our mentor path, he said something along the lines on we're not kids anymore, so we need to help the kids that are currently growing. We need to nurture them, and that is so interesting to me. That Jiraiya died, and now Naruto passing down Jiraiya's teaching to Konohamaru, despite the fact that Naruto was already teaching Konohamaru a long time ago, but still he actually really taught Konohamaru how to do the Rasengan. And I thought that was an amazing experience, seeing how Jiraiya's legacy it isn't even going down. He's still passing the torch, which I thought was amazing to me. Sasuke, like I said before, Sasuke being able to avenge his clan, I think would have been awesome. Cause I really hated how Toby Obito, same thing, how he basically manipulated Sasuke to be underling to kill Dondo, and then after Killer Bee, excuse me, forgot about Killer Bee, and then after that, really he gained the Eternal Sharingan. He gained the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and he completely turned on Toby, which I thought I didn't really like because he was only Toby underling for so long, and so I really feel like Toby didn't really have to make Sasuke his underling because you're dealing with this guy could have easily killed Sasuke. Dondo. He could have easily killed Dondo by himself with ease. Especially given the fact that Sasuke just got his Mangekyo Sharingan. I don't see why Toby Obito could do the same thing. Especially, even though this is a little bit cheating, War Art Obito, like literally, not even midway, literally the beginning of the war Obito, like him getting his Sharingan from Nagato, like he would be able to wipe the fucking floor with Naruto. And now, truly, the last part. This is one of my favorite scenes. Minato being introduced as Naruto's father, the fourth Hokage. I thought that was amazing how him being the mentor of Kakashi, he had so many burdens the moment Naruto was born, with him having to sacrifice himself for Kushina, him going so far as his way to put a sliver of his soul, the Kushina's soul, in Naruto. He put so much foresight that he realized that Naruto was not going to be able to control this at some point in time. That he realized that the Kyuubi was going to escape from him once Naruto went 8 tails. And it's just crazy to me that because Naruto had every reason to be pissed at his dad. He had every reason because Naruto had a very tough upbringing because of Minato. Because of Minato decided to put the Kyuubi in his son, Naruto was literally prepared to beat the shit out of this guy. But then he realized, that was Minato's only choice. He really could have not put it in there. Naruto was lucky that only half of Kurama within him. Because if the full Kurama was in him at birth, he would not be able to control that shit at all. I guarantee you, because half of Kurama's chakra was already too much to handle. But now, with the full QB, yeah, that's a different story. But I can't. That's why I just love this arc so much, because you have so many characters making so many grand appearances or disappearances in some cases, and it's just really amazing because it doesn't really compare to the war arc. Because the war arc just had Madara and I guess Gar's father. That's about it. I mean, I can't really. Oh, the Savage Swordsmith, but they didn't really make that much of a return. So I mean, yeah, I don't really care about them actually. I don't really care the other end of Tensei. Besides Itachi, Gara father, and Madara, yeah, and and Hashirama and the other Hokage. Well, mainly Hashirama, but besides that, these people don't really make that many grand entrances in the war arc. They just really just there to be there. I think that art had too many characters to begin with, and with this art, it's just nice and simple. With Naruto just being the winner, and Sasuke coming back to Konoha without any curse of hatred, I think that would have been the perfect ending instead of this overdrawn arc that really had no reason to be this long, because it was clear that Kishimoto couldn't really think a way to fully kill Madara, so he had to cop out and just make Madara literally commit suicide by fusing with the God tree, from the God tree, and that's you stabbing him and infusing his chakra, and then him combining to Kaguya. That's what I meant to say. But regardless, I will always say Pain Art is better. And I'll see you guys on next one.